What's going on, guys? It's Icy Rhythms. Welcome back. And in this video, we're going to talk about Bethesda at E3 2018. Everyone is starting to gear up for this. There is more and more hype that's generating day by day. People are starting to get even more excited, and rightfully so. I'm still going to temper my own expectations and set them as low as I possibly can. So I'm not saying that I don't have any hype whatsoever, especially after seeing Rage 2 and seeing that it does look very promising. But I think this video is about what Bethesda will probably do and just some things to me that seem beyond obvious. We know that from listening to Pete Hines from a year or two ago at E3 that Bethesda themselves, just forget about publishing for a second, Bethesda themselves are working on at least 2 more titles before they get to Elder Scrolls, and we can listen to a clip of that right now.
You mentioned BGS. Last year Todd was here and kind of broke a little bit of news that the multiple projects sort of in the works there. Yep. You know, another Elder Scrolls down the road, and you probably answer questions every day on Twitter about
down the road. Down the road.
A few games down the road.
To reiterate, they have at least 2 major titles that they're working on before we're going to get to Elder Scrolls 6. Jeff, we gave you that nugget, and somehow everybody, including your friend of mine, Michael Pachter, like somehow everybody missed that. I tried to manage expectations for folks. You know the kind of games they make. They take a while, but they have two major things that they're working on, in addition to a lot of other stuff. Yeah. You know, Skyrim Switch and all of these other things. Yeah. Yeah, they are hard at work. They have a lot going on. And, you know, like I said at the outset, looking forward to talking about that stuff when we get to a point where we can really show what they're working on and not just speak to it, but like, here it is, here's exactly kind of what it's going to be. And looking forward to those. And then we'll get to Test 6.
You only answer a question on Twitter about that.
Like every
So that pretty much guarantees that Elder Scrolls is not getting announced this year, probably next year, and possibly even the year after that. I think at the earliest we get Elder Scrolls in 2021, probably 2022, and I've actually heard Pete say before that the technology and the ambition that they have for Elder Scrolls 6 just don't match up all that well right now, so they have a lot of ideas in place for that game that they just can't do right now. So it makes sense that it probably wouldn't come until the next box, PlayStation 5 are out, and, you know, PC hardware advances a little bit on top of that. So I think that you will finally see this year, I think we're definitely getting Doom 2, but Bethesda's not developing that game. I think we'll get some sort of teaser for that, maybe even some gameplay. There could be some Prey expansion of some kind that feels like hopes and dreams, very wishful thinking. If we're going to stick with wishful thinking stuff as a publisher, I would like them to allow some Evil Within 2 expansion of some kind. That would be great. Maybe whereas, you know, we play as Kidman or something. I think that would be excellent, me as an Evil Within fan. But I think this is the year that they either finally talk about and show the Starfield IP. We don't even know if that's what the game is actually called. We need to start with that. Like, that's probably just a placeholder code name for what the game will actually be called. But even if it is called Starfield, I think we finally see that game. It is the 10-year anniversary of Fallout 3, and I know that there was that Nintendo leak that said Fallout 3 anniversary trailer and gameplay, but I want to say that they would not do this. You know, Fallout 3 was a really big deal for them, but Skyrim was like the game of games for Bethesda. They know that, we know that, but I feel like you have to acknowledge Oblivion, you have to acknowledge Fallout 3 in some way. I feel like they both deserve some sort of remaster or anniversary treatment, and I don't think Oblivion got that. I'm not so sure about Fallout 3. Here's what I don't want. Here's what I don't want with Fallout 3. I don't want them to change too much. I want better visuals, but I don't want them to change the behavior and the animations too much from the original Fallout 3. I don't want Fallout 3 to feel like I'm playing Fallout 4 with a Fallout 3 skin on top of it. Does that make sense? I prefer the way, some ways, that New Vegas and Fallout 3 play over Fallout 4. Just in general, I would say that Fallout 4 has better gameplay. It is more fun to play in terms of like the shooting and stuff like that. That's okay. Some people don't even want that. Some people don't want to be able to look down iron sights or anything. If they're just gonna remaster Fallout 3, some people want better visuals, and that's it. And that's understandable. Obviously, if they could fix even more of the bugs that exist in games like Fallout 3, that would be even better. But what they will show, I think, the way that they will, close their E3 conference is with Starfield. They've also been rumored to have some sort of Game of Thrones game in the works. That has never been confirmed by Bethesda. It's never been hinted at by Bethesda. I mean, why would they, right? Until they're ready to announce it. But I don't think that that's a reality. But I feel like a Game of Thrones from Bethesda may feel too much like, an Elder Scrolls game. Very similar in a, kind of fantasy setting, and there's dragons and swords and stuff, magic. I don't know if I'm feeling that. I guess it could be good. I love Game of Thrones, and I would probably check it out, but man, I don't know. Especially on the engine that they use. If I was going to play a game like that, I would want it to be from a developer that uses a completely different engine and has nothing to do with the Elder Scrolls games, because I feel like they would feel too similar, right? Especially if Todd Howard is the director of the game and all that. I don't know. I like Todd Howard, I do, but we have to give him that Fraud Howard treatment until Bethesda can show, in my opinion, that they can still create great RPGs and not just games that sell really well, or they know how to sell you really well. Open world, action type of games, I don't know, shoot and loot, whatever it is that you want to call it. You had it with Skyrim, and then, even more so with Fallout 4. I've talked about all of this stuff before. I want Bethesda to get back to creating great RPGs. So whether that's with Starfield, or maybe they just come out and surprise everyone. Not only is there a Fallout 3 anniversary or remaster, but they're already doing another Fallout game and it's coming out this year or something. You know what I'm saying? So that could be interesting. That could be special, but it's got to be right. I don't know if now is the right time. Whatever they've got planned, hopefully it's more Fallout 3 in New Vegas from an RPG standpoint than Fallout 4. But I'll take a new Fallout with those Fallout 4 visuals as long as I feel like I'm playing an RPG and not Borderlands or something with Fallout skin on top of it. I mean, that's just me. Those are my opinions. Those are my thoughts on what we can expect from Bethesda E3 conference. I think they spend a lot of time on whatever game they're developing. So, as Pete Hines stated, 2 big titles, right? Like, it's not on a small scale like Fallout Shelter or anything like that. 2 big titles before we see another Elder Scrolls game. So it could be Fallout. If this game coming, whether it's this year or next, isn't Fallout, they could be, in early stages of another Fallout game. They're just not ready to talk about that yet. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I can't imagine that Bethesda has 2 new IPs, maybe 1. So one of those games, one of those 2 games that he was talking about could be a Fallout game. Time will tell, right? We don't know. They're usually pretty good about keeping their secrets. Nothing from them was leaked in that Walmart leak. So outside of Rage 2, of course, and I don't think anyone was expecting that. So what does that really say? Does Bethesda actually have a game coming out this year? Some industry insiders have hinted at yes, but again, we don't know. Time will tell. This E3 conference will show all. I do have a $5 bet with a very good friend that Doom 2 in some form will be shown. I don't know if it'll come out this year, but I think we will see Doom 2, and hopefully we see gameplay. That would be great. So that's my video. That's my take, my very hot take. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you for the continued support. You guys have been great. Take care. Peace.